Hi everybody, and welcome to your weekly woo. Here is the spread, and I am adding a crystal for the weekly woo now. In the extended, we have other cards picked for us, so head over to Patreon when you're done here, patreon.com/thegoodwoo, for some more in-depth look at this week's energies. But for right now, let's talk about Swan, which came in reversed, and Dream Root, and our crystal is Hemimorphite. So we are still in the dark moon phase right now. We have a new moon tomorrow. I believe it's around 10:38 tomorrow Pacific Standard Time, so around 1:30 tomorrow Eastern Standard Time. And you can check the time zone based on where you are. This is a very powerful new moon. It's the second new moon in the sign of Cancer and considered a black moon. And I'll link here the video for it so you can look more in depth at it if you're interested. But this cycle of Cancer and having two new moons in Cancer, it really is waking us up to how we nurture ourselves, how we're hurting ourselves, where is the self-love, and what happens when we don't have self-love. So I'm going to start with Hemimorphite. Look at this gorgeous image and just let the light download into your system. This card is about the egoless state. This crystal helps us to let go of the ego, not in the way of the ego is bad, but putting the ego in its place as a warrior and protector of spirit, as that which works for your higher self. It's about aligning with higher will. Now, oftentimes people who need this crystal in their life, and when this card is pulled, it's about when we're not taking responsibility, when we're in a position of blaming, when we are making decisions from a fearful place, right? The ego is what seeds our fear, because the ego is all about keeping us alive, right? But when the ego is in charge, we are making decisions from this hyper-vigilant reptilian brain, so to speak. And right now, we are really being asked to level up and to really think about, how can you take responsibility for everything that's happening in your life? And yes, there are some things that are out of your control, and that's where higher will comes in, when you have to surrender and let go and trust that if you adhere to the belief that everything is working out for you, that everything is happening for you, that indeed that will be the case. So when we remove the ego and we put it behind our soul, or let's say underneath our soul, to be boosting this higher self, this connection to higher self, we are able to trust that infinite spirit has a plan, and that that plan is going to help us expand and understand our purpose here on this planet, both spiritually and practically. Now, it's interesting, the animal for Hemimorphite is the giant panda, and essential oil to work with is ginger. Now, this is interesting because ginger is actually quite stimulating, and yet it helps with inflammation. So it's both a stimulant that also reduces the anxiety state within us. So eating ginger this week, maybe purchasing that essential oil, working with the energy of ginger is going to be really helpful to allow us to align our ego in a way where it's actually supporting our integrity, supporting our responsibility, supporting self-respect. It's very difficult to respect ourselves if we're making decisions out of fear and anxiety, right? Because if that vibration is the seed from which you're moving toward resolution, or you're moving towards solution, it's always going to be frenetic. It's not our natural state. It's only there to protect us from, wild animals and falling off of cliffs, right? That old brain. But if we put it in a correct relationship with our soul, it can actually be there to fuel our dreams and goals and ultimate healing and connection to source. Now, we got Swan. Her key word is grace, and it was reversed. So Swan is all about exactly actually what Himimorphite is talking about. This idea of relaxing into a relationship with infinite spirit, the divine plan, in such a way that you are actually able to see it. So that's really what intuition and clairvoyance and claircognizance, clairaudience is. It's when we put our ego in a position of supporting our spirit and our soul, and we are allowed to open up the channels to higher guidance. Now, Swan is also alerting us to the feminine within us, which is that receptive, open-minded state. We can't be open-minded if our ego is in charge. So there's really a balance here, and it's saying if we can put our ego in check, if we can put the fear in check, then there is going to be an incredible amount of information coming in, not just through our intuition, which can look like visions during meditation, but our body. Our body speaks to us through sensation to tell us if something is good for us or not. And you can look at that as far as like food and substance is concerned, people, situations. Your body is telling you always, in sensations being delivered through it, what is right and good for you and what is not. This week we have an opportunity to really open up to this gift that each and every human being has. And these gifts are really coming online. This new moon makes two really incredibly positive links. One to Neptune, right? Which is, here's dream root. Let's get the dream root in. Neptune is that place where we receive those spiritual visions. It is the planet of intuition. It is the planet of dreams, right? It's also the planet of like cinematography and film and music, deep spiritual healing. So we have a lot of energy coming in through Neptune and a beneficial aspect to this new moon that happens tomorrow. And also it makes a positive relationship aspect to the galactic center, which is this energy portal that streams into our solar system and onto our planet and into our body, because everything is electromagnetic, as are we. So we have an opportunity to access some really higher dimensional energy here and to acknowledge that we are multidimensional in ourselves. Now, Dream Root talks about the dream time and how once we acknowledge that dreams are real experiences as well, right? When we are sleeping, our body, I know we've all had this experience. You wake up from a dream and it's so emotional that you may be crying, or even sexual dreams that, you've actually had a sexual experience and your body is showing you that. Dreams are as real as what we're in now. In fact, there's a belief that we're in a dream within a dream within a dream within a dream. Paying attention to the dream world this week is going to provide us so many answers and so much healing. Swan is reiterating this. And again, letting go of the ego so that you can, before you go to bed, really make an intention. If there is a question, a solution that you need, stating before you go to bed, in my dreams, I will receive the answer that I need. This week it happens, and indeed, anytime you do this, it could happen. Now, interesting with this Cancer energy, which is all about the home, our mother, our mother's mother, our childhood home, how we were parented. In our dreams, we can often have reoccurring scenarios and places that reoccur. And there is a spiritual belief and practice that if you are constantly in your dreams going back to a certain place, that there is a part of your soul or experience, your human experience, that is like frozen in that place and in that experience. And this is an incredible week to go and retrieve that part of yourself. This is something that I do help clients with. You can contact me at info@thegoodwoo.org. I have a sliding scale for everyone right now. You can also go to thegoodwoo.org and look at the services tab. But this is a practice of literally time travel, and your dreams are going to be alerting that to you. And it's interesting because one of the cards we pulled for the extended is soul retrieval. So there's information in our dreams. Our dreams show us our subconscious blockages. And our dream state and what we're dreaming about is like our report card for our internal state. So if you're having nightmares and contentious dreams and dreams that evoke fear and frustration or anger and whatever, this is signaling to you, this is where you need to work. This is what you need to work on. This issue, this person, this memory, this place in the past, this fear, right? You work with the dream to release, to calm the ego down, to work with the subconscious, to release the memory, release the experience, so that you can open up to these visions of your future. So our dream life can be quite clunky, I guess contaminated is a word, with darker material, because that is what we need to process and release. And when we do that work, and oftentimes that takes help, and I'm here to help, what we then do is open up the dream time to be receiving messages and direction about the present moment and the future and where we're headed and what is truly going to serve us and how we can be of service to others and what the next best step is. So in some ways you have to clear out the dream time to make way for the positive energy to be coming in through it. Now, when Swan is reversed, and I do also, it's this moon, this new moon, because a new moon is a time to seed, to plant intentions and goals. This new moon makes an aspect to the planet Saturn that really is asking us for maturity, discipline, but also to think long term. I'm talking like 38 years, 29 years, 13 years. Because also this week, when it comes to galactic astrology, which is based on the Mayan calendar, we are starting a new galactic year and cycle. So there is an incredible amount of energy that is going to help us flush out and really recognize what we need to work on and release and heal, so that we can have the energy to dream a new future, a better future, a wonderful future. When Swan is reversed, it says, get grounded. Get grounded, clear out the dross so that you can be open to the inspiration of what to create. It says also that a good way to do this when we're just feeling like so overwhelmed, like, oh, there's so much to heal and there's so much we want and there's just so much going on, is to make a list, to begin to write. So this can be as practical as making a to-do list for each day. This is what I need to do. This is what I need to cross off. You know, for me, I like to get my responsibilities done the first half of the day, so that the second half of the day I can be in a very open and receptive, creative state. This is a good thing to begin practicing now, to get what's practical done, so the ego is satiated, right? So the ego feels like, yeah, okay, you know, I ate, I planned my meals, I'm protected, you know, we're safe. And then you open up to this creative, vibrant, higher dimensional energy that's coming in. So making lists is going to be really important right now, because just even the act of writing can help us organize these thoughts and feelings that we're all experiencing. And this leads me to the next moment, because in the extended, we did pull the spirit card of write. This is an incredible time to, one, write down and record your dreams, right? And I would even say, like, the more difficult they are, the more important it is that you write them down and break it down and look deeply into it. The more difficult it is, you know, go into that wormhole. There's information there for you. There's energy there for you when you release the painful experiences, and our dreams are showing us where to look, right? So to write down the dreams, recording the dreams, getting the dream journal, or even, you know, like for me, I'm a single mom, I'm momming 24/7, so I don't always get the chance to write. I put it in a voice recorder on the phone. So there's no excuse. We can all be taking this next step with our dream life. But the next thing that I really want you guys to embrace and focus on this week is doing that intention list, but in a very specific way. So writing your intentions down on paper, specifically around what is your dream life, right? What is that most supreme vision of your future? And I want you to write it down specifically as if it's happening now. This is bringing that energy in its first phase of physical form, in its first phase of physical manifestation. To write it down, you're doing that. You're bringing it into the physical form by writing it down as if it's already happening now. And as you're writing this supreme vision of your future, I want you to let go of shame and guilt around wanting and desiring, whether that's about wanting and desiring love and sexuality, or whether it's wanting a new car or a new home or a yacht, whatever it is. Let go of all shame and guilt and truly let it flow. We live in a material world. We are spiritual beings in a material world. We can have it all, right? Material success, it does not negate your connection to infinite spirit. In fact, the more connected you are to infinite spirit, the more bounty and abundance you're aligned with. And the only thing in the way of that is our worthiness. And this is really what the egoless state is also talking about. That when we are not feeling worthy and we are not loving ourselves and we have not forgived ourselves for whatever it is that holds us in shame and guilt, we are not able to receive the grace and the abundance that are always naturally flowing to us. It's just how open are you to it? This guilt, shame, ego response gets in the way of us receiving. And so after you've written this vision of what is this dream life, I want you each night before you go to bed to look at that written down, that first phase of manifestation that you have created. Read it, even speak it out loud, God. And if you can, tap it in on your right ear as you're doing it before you go to bed. This will seed your dream time. And in the dreams, both of these cards represent the same thing basically. In your dreams, you will be given visions and information to then help you with the next phases of manifesting this dream life. Dream within a dream within a dream. So let's use it, right? What is it? We sleep more than half of our life. There's something there. That is a valuable time where we can be healing and manifesting and creating. So let's use it this week. So if you want more, please head over to patreon.com/thegoodwoo, where the extended will be posted for patrons. Thank you so much for subscribing and liking, and thank you so much for your thank you donations. I so appreciate it, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you at the extended. And if you need any help with this process, you know I'm here, info@thegoodwoo.org. Thank you all so much.